Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment for more. Ghost Emperor Wild Wife, Dandy Eldest Miss, Chapter 21-30. Chapter 21, First Meeting with Mu Wushang, 1. Prime Minister Mu, your son was rude to my family's miss when they met in the street, and tried to possess the young miss in front of everyone. I have received orders from the general to protect her, so I naturally would not allow anyone to hurt the young miss. But how could our miss handle experiencing this kind of thing? Now her mind has suffered serious trauma. Thus, we are letting the Prime Minister know that our general will come to discuss the matter of compensation later on. Mu Xingqiu was angered until old blood almost sprayed out, and he staggered until he had to support himself to keep from falling down. He trembled as he raised his hand, pointing to the mountain-like Jun family Yun's guard in front of him, and quivered as he said, "Just you wait, I won't let this matter drop." Could these people be any more shameless? His own grandson was beaten, and they want him to offer compensation. Moreover, he doesn't believe Yun Luofeng was scared silly. That woman is more courageous than heaven, so how could something scare her? I have given you the message, and now I have to go back to report. It won't be long before the Lord General personally visits to seek justice for Miss. The guard's words were filled with awe-inspiring righteousness, almost making Mu Xingqiu faint from anger. He gritted his teeth, and mercilessly said, "Fine, then. I'll go report this matter to His Majesty now. Let His Majesty decide who is right and who is wrong. HMPH. Having said that, he fiercely flung his robe, turned around with his hand behind his back, and left. Now he needed to go court to see His Majesty. After the guards had sent Mu Shen back to the Prime Minister's manor, one of them returned to the Yun family as quickly as possible to report the matter. When Yun Luo heard his subordinate's report, he froze for a moment, then began to laugh heartily. Ha ha ha, good, very good, that's my granddaughter. My granddaughter should be this bold, never fearing anyone. But given the character of that old thief Mu Xingqiu, he won't let it go. Come help this general prepare. This general needs to go to court and meet with the emperor. Longshao mainland is famous for its people's medical expertise. It is said that the most famous force is the medical pavilion. This medical pavilion not only sells medical herbs of various kinds but also have very skilled physicians. However, these physicians generally don't come out to save people. Even if you offer them 1,000,000 gold, it may still not be possible to get their attention. Yun Luofeng did not hesitate to enter the medical pavilion. Fortunately, those who come to medical pavilion are not average people. The guests were busy solving their own problems, so nobody noticed her arrival. Miss. As Yun Luofeng looked around this famous medical court, a man dressed in a blue robe came to her side, and politely said, "Excuse me, did you come to our medical pavilion to buy herbs?" Yun Luofeng nodded her head slightly and took out a piece of paper she had with her. "I want the herbs on this list. Please bring them to me." The man in the blue robe was still wearing a smile, and he took the paper from Yun Luofeng and said, "Okay, please wait, and I'll have the herbs for you in a little while." Having said that, the blue-robed man left to get the specified herbs for Yun Luofeng. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yun Luofeng started to appraise the medical pavilion. Because many physicians came to the medical pavilion, pasted on the wall of the building were some problems that various physicians could not solve and so wanted to discuss with others. Chapter 22, First Meeting with Mu Wushang 2. Yun Luofeng looked at the wall of pasted questions. Of those problems not one was challenging or interesting. She couldn't help but be disappointed. Just when she wanted to turn away, she suddenly caught a glimpse of a problem that made her halt. I would like to ask, if one was not careful and ingested the man luo poison, how can it be treated? Man luo poison is from a plant called man luo that produced highly toxic flowers. If poisoned, the person will increasingly age until death. Currently in Longshao continent, it is indeed difficult to solve the problem of man luo poisoning. But, before she came to buy herbs, she random flicked through some medical books and just so happened to turn to the page about man luo poison. Probably on a whim, Yun Luofeng wrote down the detoxification method under the question. Then, she placed the brush in her hand and went toward the center of the big hall. From beginning to end, no one saw this white-clothed girl leaving a few strokes on the paper. "Miss, the herbs you want, I have prepared them for you." Just when Yun Luofeng reached the middle of the hall, that male individual in blue clothes came in front of her while holding the herbs. His face still had that polite smile, a total of 5 million taels of silver. 5 million tael. That expensive. Yan Luofeng's nerves twitched a bit. This is the first time she realized that the general manor is so poor. Moreover, these herbs were only enough for her to soak for a day. If she bought enough to last 5 days, she's afraid that the general manor's treasury would not be enough for her to squander. It seems like it's time for her to make some money. So the dignified General Manor's miss is short on money. Suddenly, a sarcastic voice came from the medical pavilion door. The crowd followed the sound and looked. The first thing that caught their eye was that Mu Wusheng dressed in a goose yellow flannel dress, seeming noble and elegant and whose whole body was covered with endless charm, while those by her side provided a sharp contrast. She is like flower standing among a pile of cow dung, beautiful and delicate, a fragrant scent assailing the nose. The one who opened her mouth to ridicule Yan Luofeng was Mu Wusheng's little follower, Wu Qi, who stood by her side. After all, toward people like Yan Luofeng, Mu Wusheng always showed disdain and filled with attitude, not opening her proud mouth, even from the door to now, she did not spare Yan Luofeng a glance. Yan Luofeng rubbed her nose. To see Mu Wusheng appearing here, it seems like she didn't hear the news about her beating Mu Shen. Shopkeeper Lin. Mu Wusheng walked around Yan Luofeng to go to the blue-clothed man standing in front of her, changing the previous glamorous elegance to a beautiful face with a touch of chuckle. Is Elder wrong in today? If he is, then can I trouble shopkeeper Lin to inform him that Wusheng came to visit? This is the medical pavilion. Even if the other person is just a small shopkeeper, as the Prime Minister's Miss, Mu Wusheng must be polite and did not dare go beyond. Shopkeeper Lin frowned, his face still displayed a polite smile. Sorry, Elder Rong has gone on a long journey, and still has not come back. Miss Wusheng, please return. Mu Wusheng's smiling face stiffened. Because she received news that Elder Rong came back, she came to see and did not think that these people wouldn't give her face. Even so, if she thought like this, Mu Wusheng's face still showed the same smile. In that case, Wusheng has presumptuously caused a disturbance again. If Elder Rong came back, please inform me soon, then Wusheng will carry gifts to call for a visit. Please. The blue-robed man made a please posture, as if Mu Wusheng was definitely going to leave. Mu Wusheng's stomach simmered with anger that couldn't come out. But she had to maintain a noble and elegant smile, so when no one saw it, she winked to the follower at her side, Wu Qi. Wu Qi immediately knew what it meant. Looking at Yan Luofeng, who had yet to depart, she sneered, Yan Luofeng, what are you freezing there for? Since you can't take out money to buy medicine, immediately get out. The air in the place our Miss Wusheng appears must be kept fresh, but such good air is polluted by trash like you. Quote. Wusheng needed to maintain her image outside. Naturally, she could not directly embarrass Yan Luofeng, so this kind of thing was generally done by her little follower, who made her stomach full of simmering rage with nowhere to vent, but this waste also happened to appear in this place. Chapter 23, The Warm Like Jade 4th Prince. Put Miss Yun's bill on my tab. Just when Wu Qi made things difficult for Yan Luofeng, a warm jade-like voice came from behind. Originally, Wu Qi still showed a proud face when she faced the guy who walked over. However, she suddenly stiffened, and her expression turned ugly like she ate feces but didn't dare to say a word. A man clothed in a brocade costume, looking noble without any comparison, emitted an aura on stage that could not be compared to the aura of a person like Wu Qi. A warm smile was displayed on his face, and a pair of eyes contained a gentle luster. Unparalleled handsomeness, warm like jade. Suddenly, these 8 words entered into Yan Luofeng's mind, making Yan Luofeng unable to help but give another look at the man. Only, this man, even though his face had a smile, that smile did not reach his eyes. His gentle eyes concealed a kind of fox-like cunning and insidious gaze within. 4th Prince, said Mu Wusheng, maintaining a stunning smile on her face, as if just now she didn't order Wu Qi to make things difficult for Yan Luofeng. So you came to visit Old Rong. Gao Xiaochen smiled, spreading out the folding fan in his hands. His eyes that were initially warm became a bit cold. I did not come to visit Old Rong, just came to buy a few bundle of herbs. I did not expect to see you troubling Yan Luofeng. Yan. Shopkeeper Lin, put Yan Luofeng's bill on my account. Even if my general manor is poor, we can still pay 5 million. Yan Luofeng slanted a glance at Gao Xiaochen and then turned to the blue-robed man. I'll take these herbs first. Later you can go get the money from General Manor. However, this price of yours is too expensive. How about you gift me those grass plants? The young girl's eyes flashed for a moment, pointing to the corner where green herb grass laid. She made the statement with a smile full of meaning. The blue-robed man became stunned for a moment, then he politely smiled. Miss, these are just one of the most common herb grasses, and are of no real use. If Miss Yun likes, you can take away that corner of herb grass. Quote. Many thanks. Yun Luofeng didn't try to be polite, she packaged all of the herb grass and walked back to the door without looking back. Gao Xiaochen watched the girl's figure disappear and abruptly laughed. I did not expect for this Yun family's Yun Luofeng to be bearable, unlike what the rumors said. Maybe my brother will lose a treasure. Mu Wusheng stood beside Gao Xiaochen. After hearing these words, she felt greatly uncomfortable. What does he mean by the crown prince will lose a treasure? Only she is worthy of being the crown prince's woman. Yun Luofeng, that kind of waste, she doesn't even have the qualifications to become the crown prince's concubine. Let's go. Due to receiving a good education, Mu Wusheng did not have an outburst. She glanced at Gao Xiaochen once, then led her flock of followers out of medical pavilion, disappearing into that bright afternoon sunlight. Your Highness Fourth Prince, may I ask what herbs you have come here to buy? The blue-robed man saw that they had left, smiled slightly, and politely asked. Gao Xiaochen's eyes flashed like a fox with a kind of cunning light. What herbs did Yun Luofeng buy just now? Give me one set of all. Just a moment, I'll get them ready. The blue-robed man was in a good mood. After all, there aren't many days when he could sell such expensive herbs in one day. So at the moment, his smile was no longer so polite but a smile from the heart. Chapter 24, The Excited Elder Rong. However, just when the blue-robed man walked by the wall filled with papers of questions, he suddenly stopped his steps. His pair of eyes stared wide open, trembling as he reached out his hand to take one piece of paper. There's actually someone who answered the man Luo poison. No way, I have to hurry up and find Elder Rong. Only Elder Rong knows if the answer is true or fake. At the moment, the blue-robed man could not to accommodate Gao Xiaochen, he hastily ran to the medical pavilion's inner hall. Inside the inner hall, Elder Rong, whom shopkeeper Lin said wasn't here, was slowly, without care, sipping the tea in his hands. His old face was covered with anxiety, while in front of him stood a middle-aged man. Compared to the old man's anxiety, this middle-aged man's face was extremely respectful. Still, no one has yet written out the detoxification method for man Luo poison. Elder Rong placed the cup in his hand down, gently sighing. Elder Rong, the middle-aged man pondered for a moment and replied, even the most powerful physicians of our medical pavilion have no idea. I'm afraid that other people also do not understand the detoxification method for the man Luo flower's poison. Elder Rong bitterly laughed, I just want to try. If nobody could answer it, I do not blame you. It's just that I overestimated the physicians in Long Yuan. When this was said, a burst of hurried footsteps resounded outside the door, and then the room's door was suddenly pushed open. The middle-aged man frowned and coldly looked at the blue-robed man who pushed the door to enter. Lin Xiao, Elder Rong and I are discussing things. Who allowed you to disturb us? Still not hurrying to leave. Lin Xiao was completely startled and anxiously went down to his knees. Lord Morong, your subordinate saw that someone has filled out the way to detoxify man Luo flower's poison. This is why I hurriedly came to report. Asking Lord to forgive my crime. Swoosh. This time, without waiting for the middle-aged man to open his mouth, Elder Rong, who was initially sitting and sipping tea, suddenly stood up. His breath had quickened a bit. What did you just say? Did someone really write the way of detoxifying the man Luo flower? Quickly give that piece of paper to me. Yes, Elder Rong. Lin Xiao respectfully placed the paper in his hand, and his heart became excited along with Elder Rong's movements. Elder Rong held his breath, the hand holding the paper trembled. That's right, this is the man Luo flower detoxification method. Our previous research methods and the one she wrote is only one step different. No wonder we all failed, we just missed one step. It can't do, I have to meet this mysterious person. Lin Xiao, you will immediately find out the physician who answered this question. She is very important to our medical pavilion. Quote. As you command. Lin Xiao again cupped his hands into fist and stood up from the ground. Just when he was about to leave, he suddenly remembered something and asked, That's right, Elder Rong, that Mu Prime Minister Miners Mu Wusheng came again to see you. I do not know if Elder Rong. Not waiting for Lin Xiao to continue speaking, Elder Rong interrupted him with impatient frown. Is she the one who answered this question? If not, make her scram. Yes. Lin Xiao's mouth twitched a bit but still respectfully replied. He understands that right now there's nothing more important to Elder Rong than the matter of detoxification of the man Luo poison. Yun Luofeng never thought that because she left a few scribbles on a whim, this would cause a great sensation in the medical pavilion. And that this also led to the medical pavilion to collectively move out in order to find her. If she knew that it would lead to such consequences earlier, she absolutely would not have left these few scribbles. Chapter 25, Yun Luofeng was pressed down. Master, there's someone following behind us. On the street, Yun Luofeng was just going toward the General Maner's direction when suddenly a soft, creeping voice from her soul spread straight into her mind. It's that woman, Mu Wusheng's henchman. Xiao Mo explained yet again. Yun Luofeng slightly frowned, her agile body stealthily dashed into a lane at the side. And then, she saw a few silhouettes quickly dashing toward the street where she had just stood. As they walked, they searched for something in the crowd. Seems like I should raise my strength as soon as possible. Yun Luofeng lightly wrinkled her brows, eyes flashing with determination. On this mainland, only one's fist is the real justification. When the fist is strong, even the emperor has to listen to your orders. All right, they're gone. I should return now. When she saw those silhouettes completely disappearing from the street, Yun Luofeng clapped her hands and walked forward. Just when she was about to walk out of the lane, a black shadow jumped out from over the wall. Yun Luofeng was caught off guard, so with a boom, it crashed right on top her. By chance, when that black shadow dropped down, his face was right in front of Yun Luofeng's. Then logically, his lips pressed against the young girl's lips. Similarly, his body also pressed the young girl down to the ground. Two bodies were close together. This position could easily make people's imaginations run wild. Yun Luofeng slightly squinted her eyes, a dangerous glint flashed from her pupil. Scram. The guy had no reaction whatsoever and still pressed the young girl down on the ground. At this moment, the young girl could feel the other person's weak breaths. Bang. Seeing that guy still relentlessly pressed down on her, Yun Luofeng's gaze grew increasingly more threatening. She raised her hands and used force to push the guy away. Under her strength, the guy's head couldn't help but hit against the wall. He weakly cried out. At the same time, the man's mask fell off. Even if Yun Luofeng had seen countless beautiful people, she was utterly surprised when she saw his face. He didn't possess Gao Ling's cool handsome appearance or like Yun Qingya's stunning elegance, not even Gao Xiaoqin's warm like jade mien. However, he was completely flawless. If this man's appearance was brought out to public, it will cause an uproar with countless screaming women left in his wake. Such sharp eyebrows, he possessed a heroic face with completely perfect facial features as if they were meticulously carved out. Especially his figure, his opened-up black robe revealed those 8-pack abs. Any woman who saw this couldn't help but drool. His lips carried a tint of red, looking really soft. At the moment his lips were pursed, indicating that he felt immense pain. Master, his body constitution is of the spiritual entity. Inside the God's Code space, Xiao Mo became excited. He had forgotten that his owner was just molested by this guy. Quickly take him back with you. He will be of use to you. Spiritual entity. Yun Luofeng frowned. She looked at the unconscious man and asked, what kind of system is that? Master, didn't I tell you? Your constitution is an empty spiritual body, so your body is really weak, which causes non-stop bleeding during cultivation. Only with my special method can you cultivate. This spiritual entity and your body are similar. Only his body can't cultivate before age of 10. After 10 years old, his strength will be speedily grow. Normally, in Longshao mainland, sorcerers start practicing from a young age. This spiritual entity is different, he has no way of cultivating before the age of 10. Once past 10 years old, he will cultivate incredibly fast. Chapter 26, The whole family is shameless. Of course, master, the reason why I ask you take him home with you is because with him beside you, your cultivation will be quicker. Also, if you can do pair cultivation, then it will quicken your breakthrough. Master, quickly bring him home to do pair cultivation. Pair cultivation. Yun Luofeng's mouth twitched, completely speechless, never thought that there's something like pair cultivation in this mainland. Master, quickly bring him home. Right now he's unconscious due to injuries. After you take him back with you, tie him up, and every night do pair cultivation. I promise you that you will break through very quickly. Quote. Yun Luofeng was even more speechless. Why did she feel that after seeing this man, Xiao Mo is more agitated than she is? Could it be that Xiao Mo fancy him? Forget it, Yun Luofeng shook her head. I have no interest in kidnapping, the day isn't young, I should return. That's right, to Yun Luofeng, Xiao Mo's actions is no different from kidnapping. However, before leaving, Yun Luofeng took out the needle she just bought along the way to pause this man's internal injuries, then took out the herbs the medical pavilion gift to her, chewed and feed it to him. After doing that, she turned around to walk out the lane. Alright, I already help him delay his condition, just for the fact that he have spiritual entity constitution, whether he can live, have to look at his good luck. I don't want the trouble of going to buy treatment herbs again. That can't do, Master, you have to bring him back with you, don't go, Master. Within her mind, was Xiao Mo's non-stop anxious cry. In order to not let the guy continuously chatter so noisy, Yun Luofeng just cut their link. Finally, it's quiet. In the mighty and serious palace main hall, a male in a yellow royal robe sitting on the royal seat up high. He gazed down at the non-stop crying in despair General Yun, felt a non-stop headache as he rubbed his forehead. General Yun's face full of sorrow and suffering, as if Yun Luofeng really meet some kind of accident, misfortune. If it weren't not for our Yun family's guard being so loyalty and dedicated, having the courage to risk offending Mu family and save my granddaughter would have already been ruined by that beast's claws. I beg your majesty to call the shot, literal, for justice, the meaning. Mu Xingqiu just entered the main hall, had not yet had the time to speak being wronged, and hear General Yun's shameless words, nearly vomit out his old blood. General Yun, you vicious slanderer. You Yun family not only beaten and injured my grandson, but also come blackmail me, now dare evil report first, meaning the villain sues his victim before he himself is prosecuted. Yun Luo glanced at him, then harumphed, our Yun family took legitimate action for safety of public. If Mu Shen didn't reach his demon claws on my granddaughter first, would he get beaten? This matter, you Prime Minister Manor was at fault first. If you gave us an explanation, then I would have kindly let it go. Chapter 27, Dissolving Engagement 1. In the main hall, the officials kept their heads down, not daring to make a squeak, feeling deeply afraid that a fight between these two Mount Tais of Long Yuan will bring trouble to the innocent. Mu Xingqiu's face looked like he ate feces, his extremely ugly, vicious eyes remained unmoving as he stared at Yun Luo's shameless face. If it weren't due to the fact that he couldn't win against that old guy in a fight, he would have already gone over and punched him. Yun Luo, don't you know shame? Is your whole family that shameless? Your granddaughter is completely fine over there, as opposed to my grandson, who's now unconscious. With that said, His Majesty knows very well who's actually in the wrong. Yun Luo mockingly laughed as he stood up, his fierce domineering eyes were like sharp swords. My granddaughter is safe and sound now thanks to our Yun family guard's capable protection, or else I'm afraid I could have lost my only kin. However, even though my granddaughter may have escaped this matter, she was greatly traumatized. Today if you don't give me an explanation, I'll order my men to trample your manor to the ground. Mu Xingqiu was angered until his body trembled. He took a deep breath to suppress his wrath from a moment ago. No longer giving the old guy a single glance, he turned his line of sight to Gao Tu, the emperor. Your Majesty, may your Majesty make it clear who is right or wrong. His own daughter is His Majesty's beloved consort. His granddaughter, Mu Wushang, and the crown prince have also fallen in love with each other. If it weren't for Yun Luofeng's interference, Wu Shuang would have already been the crown prince's consort. However, Wu Shuang becoming the princess consort would happen sooner or later. How could Yun Luofeng that waste be fit for the 4 words, mother of the world? This. Gao Tu's brows slightly furrowed as he watched the 2 officials pointing at each other. In the end, he lightly sighed, Prime Minister, the Mu Manor was indeed wrong in this matter. The Yun family acted in self-defense. Let Mu Shen go to the Yun family to apologize. It's not that Gao Tu didn't want to favor Prime Minister Mu, it's just that this Yun Luo left his home for 10 years for the sake of Long Yuan. If he continued to favor Prime Minister Mu at this moment, the common people's hearts would definitely grow cold toward him. Anyways, no matter whether it's Yun Luofeng's parents or the Yun family's genius Yun Qingya, the end result happened because he was biased toward the Mu Manor. And this Yun Luofeng is Yun family's one and only seed. If something really happened, he's afraid that the old guy will go crazy right then and there. Your Majesty. All right. Seeing Mu Xingqiu wanting to open his mouth, Gao Tu waved his hand, stopping his words. Immediately, he looked at Yun Luo with dignity and said, "This matter ends like this." Mu Shen harassed Yun Luo Feng, and in the end he received retribution. So just drop this matter of compensation, since Yun Luo Feng didn't receive any harm. In the future, no one is allowed to mention this occurrence. It was clearly Mu Shen who wanted to rape Yun Luo Feng, but from Gao Tu's mouth it simply became an action of harassment. There's a stark difference between two, completely not having the same meaning. Yun Luo's eyes looked down, hiding a touch of disappointment. He blandly said, "Since your Majesty has already made a decision, this subject will obey. It's just that this subject is now advanced in age, so this subject cannot lead troops to war in the future. This command token will be returned to your Majesty." After saying this, he took out the command token from his sleeves, slowly approached the emperor, and handed it to the eunuch at the side. The eunuch took the command token and went to Gao Tu's side, respectfully bringing it to him. Gao Tu was precisely worried about how he would take back the power of hundreds of thousands of troops. He never thought that this old guy would take the initiative to hand it over. His heart immediately burst out in ecstasy. Chapter 28 Dissolving Engagement 2. However, on his face was an expression of dilemma. "General Yun, you are the country's pillar, afraid doing this isn't so good, it's better that you take this command seal back, Long Yuan can't be without you." Old fox. Yun Luo mentally insulted, "Don't think that she doesn't know, this old fox is already so happy that flowers are blooming inside. Your Majesty, this official only want to accompany my granddaughter in the manor and retire now, this official no longer wants to overwork." All right then. Gao Tu was in great difficulty. "This command seal, I could take it back, but there's no right general candidate at the moment, so the general position is still held by General Yun. What he wants is only the command seal and that's it. As to the general position, it isn't very important, no harm in giving him a sinecure. This is to prevent the common people from thinking that he's heartless." "Thank your Majesty," the emperor. Yun Luo sneered in his heart, his voice in high spirit said, "This official still have two matters, one of them is dissolving the engagement with His Highness, Gao Ling on behalf my granddaughter, Yun Luo." Gao Tu blanked out for a moment, tightly pinched his brows. "General Yun, are you certain you want to dissolve the engagement? You need to know, Yun Luo Feng is a waste, if she dissolve engagement with Crown Prince then she wouldn't be able to be married off." The meaning was if the engagement was dissolved, definitely no one would willing to marry Yun Luo Feng, that waste. Fenger is my granddaughter, so as long as I live, no one would dare look down on her, not to mention Crown Prince's heart already belonged to another, if Fenger is with him, she will suffer. General Yun, Jen hopes you could give this matter a good thought. Gao Tu's slips as it sank, with Yun Luo Feng's ability, she certainly has no way to become Crown Prince's wife, but if she's determined to be with Crown Prince, Jen can make the decision for her, allow her to become Crown Prince's Sefei, imperial concubine. As the royal family's crown princess, must have ability, beauty, distinction and talent. And he has already promised Prime Minister's manor, to let Mu Wuxuang become the crown princess. As to the marriage arrangement from over a decade ago. At that time, wasn't Yun Luo Feng just born? He didn't know she would become a waste. On top of that, all Yun family's offspring were very outstanding, so he set a marriage agreement between kids with Yun family, only now he sees that she's a waste, so there is no need to fulfill the marriage agreement. However, this General Yun's ability is outstanding. He also hoped to have marriage connection with the general's manor, even if he gave up the troops' power, his own strength is still there. It's just a Sefei position, it ain't a legitimate consort, there is no problem giving it to a waste. Our Yun family's daughter would never become anyone's concubine. The sentence was domineering and unrestricted. His Yun family's daughter would never become someone's concubine, even if the other is a royal or noble, he would not allow it. HMPH. Suddenly Mu Xingqiu, who was suppressing a stomach of rage just now, coldly sneered, mockingly said, "Based on your granddaughter, that trash to be able to give her Sefei position is already worthy of her, unless she want to be the legitimate consort. Your head is simply in the cloud. You ask all the official here, who would let their son or grandson to marry your granddaughter." All the official never thought Mu Xingqiu would mention them, they couldn't do anything but bow their head lower, deeply afraid once Yun Luo is in rage, he'll force his granddaughter on their son or grandson. Although that waste is extremely beautiful, but one with nothing except beauty, who have no way to cultivate trash, is only suitable to become someone's concubine. Those with even a bit of status wouldn't take her as a wife. Chapter 29, Dissolving Engagement 3. Yun Luo's eyes got colder bit by bit. Those quick and powerful eyes scanned over the body of those officials who wanted to bury themselves into the ground like a dagger's sharp edge stuck on their backs. Your Majesty, this dissolving engagement matter was decided by my granddaughter. If your Majesty can sympathize with this big official, then please grant this official's wish. He turned his head around and looked at the elevated Gao Tu, his tone sounding quite firm. All right. Gao Tu's eyes lit up like torch. Filled with dignity, he said, since General Yun placed such a request, Gen will permit it. Only General Yun, don't regret it in the future. This official will not regret it. Yun Luo's eyes became firmer and more persistent. This official still has one last matter discuss, that is to hope your Majesty will permit this official to use the promised blank edict being a decree for my granddaughter. That decree is, from now on whenever my granddaughter meets any royal family member, she doesn't need to bow. From beginning to end, Yun Luo never mentioned the matter of the death-free gold medallion, refer to Chapter 17. Permitted. Gao Tu indifferently stated as he waved his hands. If he really did anything to offend the emperor could also dispatch the number one expert to kill him, so it matter not whether one has this death-free gold medallion or not. Even if he doesn't allow this, then what? That old guy already brought out that blank edict. What could he say? After all, that blank edict was something he had initially promised. If there are no other matters, you can all retire. Official, take your leave. When Gao Tu wearily stood up, every official joined their fists, walking out of the main hall in groups of 2-3. Mu Xingqiu walked over to Yun Luo's side, and he sneered as he mockingly spoke, Yun Luo, due to your decision today, your granddaughter will never be able to find a husband. However, there might be some who would accept your granddaughter, beggars. Ha ha ha. As he spoke, Mu Xingqiu arrogantly laughed, Yun Luo Feng, even if that waste uses her whole life, she still wouldn't be able to catch up to 1,000th of my granddaughter Mu Wu Shuang. In addition, I'll teach you something, no matter how powerful your Yun family's talent is, it's no use. Why not raise an outstanding daughter instead? Yun Qingya was the number one genius back then. Yun Luo Feng's father's talent was also not bad. But in the end, they was defeated in our Mu family's hand. Do you know why? Yun Luo's expression became livid. His fist clenched with resounding snapping sounds. His powerful eyes glared like daggers shot at Mu Xingqiu. Mu Xingqiu wasn't the slightest bit afraid of him. He sneered as he kept on talking, that's because our Mu family raised Mu Qin. In the inner palace, there are no girls as favored as consort Qin. Even after the crown prince's birth mother died, he was also adopted and brought up by consort Qin. Now, the Mu family raised a magnificent girl, Mu Wushang. In the future, she will be the future mother of our country. Your Yun family first gave birth to 2 short-lived sons, and now after much difficulty has gained a granddaughter who's trash. So, he paused, as his lips curled to a ridiculing arc. After long, the Yun family will become the past. Also wait until after you die, when Yun Luo Feng will suffer everyone's abuse, living a life worse than death. Yun Lu took a deep breath, fists slightly shivering. Obviously, he took great effort to suppress his heartfelt urge to kill. You don't need to worry. I can live for 50-60 more years. Want to bully our Fenger? Don't even think about it. Ha ha ha. Mu Xingqiu loudly laughed. Then you self-hypnotize yourself here. However, no matter how much you deny, you can't change the result in the end. My Mu family will forever be incomparable to yours, and you will quickly become history. After finishing his speech, Mu Xingqiu no longer looked at Yun Luo's livid face. He boorishly laughed as he walked out of the main hall. Chapter 30, Dissolving Engagement 4. Yun Family. In a young girl's room, a whiff of medicinal fragrance spread all over the room, covering up all the original smell of the room. Yun Luo Feng stood completely naked in front of a bathtub. She slowly lifted a foot and cautiously stretched it toward the wooden tub. When her toes touched the medicinal liquid in bath, an unbearable pain spread through her toes. She hardened her heart, and placed her whole leg into it. That moment, the biting pain made her hand itch to chop off her whole leg, but she understood that if she couldn't endure this hurdle, then can only forever be a trash who can't cultivate. Xiao Mo, you told me before, the medicinal bath will be very painful, but I didn't expect it to be this kind of painful. Yun Luo Feng bitterly smiled, but eventually submerged her whole body in the bathtub. At this time, she felt countless knives cutting her skin. It hurt so much, she wanted to jump out several times. However, once she thinks of the consequence of failure she will bear, she then firmly gritted her teeth and keep enduring. Master, do your best, as long as you keep bearing it, then afterward, you are free to travel this mainland. There's nothing wrong with enduring. Xiao Mo's encouragement made Yun Luofeng's heart shook, and a steadfast expression flitted on the pale face, and the bewitching eyes gave out a burning light and incomparable calmness. What you said is right, I have to keep bearing this pain. For myself, also for this Yun family. She lowered her eyes, covering the domineering and arrogance in her eyes. I want to become stronger. I want the people in this continent to no longer dare to bully me. I want that Mu Xingqiu and the dog of an emperor to kneel in front of my parents' grave in apologies one day. I also want to step on the whole continent under my foot. She was never willing to be mediocre with people. In the past life she wasn't, this life she will also not. In her past life, she studied hard to reciprocate the mentor's adoption. This world, it is to keep living on the mainland. Under this severe pain, Yun Luofeng passed out several times, then even to the end, the whole body has become numb. But in the end, she still went through it. Until the tub of originally green medicinal liquid gradually become black, did she climb out of the tub. An hour, a whole hour of time, felt like a century long, quite difficult to bear. And so painful, she would still have to bear whole 4 more times. However, because of experiencing the first time, she suddenly felt that this kind of pain no longer seems to be unbearable like it originally seemed. It is clear that Yun Luofeng is quixotic. The pain of the first medicinal bath was the lightest. The more closer you are to finishing, it gets more difficult. Until the 5th day, Yun Luofeng suddenly found one very serious problems. That is, the general manor has no money. That's right, her medicinal bath for 4 times was a whole 20 million liang. This is the general manor's so many years of accumulated saving. The result was she spent it within 4 days. Yun Luofeng was stumped. She could imagine her own grandfather's expression of fury, that after he see the empty treasury. Miss, at this time, the maid, Qing Yan hurriedly ran over, that small face full of anxiousness. Miss, a big problem. Prime Minister Mu Manor's Mu Shen came to see Miss. Right now General isn't home, what should we do? Mu Shen. After hearing this name, Yun Luofeng's lips lightly raise. I was just worried about having no money to buy the medicinal herbs needed for the 5th day medicinal bath. This money sender just arrived. At this time, in the courtyard of the front yard, Mu Shen was anxious as he pacing back and forth, his face full of apprehension. He has already been thinking for 4 days at home. In these 4 days, he thought of a lot of questions. Those questions revolve all around one person, Yun Luofeng. Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment for more.